Kasa, Mijini Sawu Kasa, Mihaunya Mani, Antina Misubu. Minami Kasa, Mijini Sawu Kasa, Mihaunya Mani, Antina Misubu. Minami Kasa, Mijini Sawu Kasa, Mihaunya Mani, Antina Misubu. Mijini Sawu Kasa, Mihaunya Mani, Antina Misubu. Mijini Sawu Kasa, Mihaunya Mani, Antina Misubu.
Shami, Kayatina Swatch, so be a one up. Let me have you push it away. Me how you so, a man you so, and you are. Who me my boy, my ANC. Say whoop, let me say whoop, bravo,
Kasa, Mijini Sawu Kasa, Mihaunya Mani, Antina Misubu.
Super Hinime. You are looking to Masaya cannot. Abraham, Asifono, Makonemi, Papa. Yakami, Eja, anyone hintame,
Yedamase technical team. Mema obi biara akwaba ene enyumre yi so baby biara wo sheme yedo nyame ase se ene ejwade yi so aye ne pe aye na dom health ministry program yi so yesan so etwaso munyina munim ya to ne din 1 week to wellness biblical perspective to health many aje meda obi biara se na menam sa akonye su de mo obi biara kwaba anyway so waba Nagsda Central Zone Health Ministry program yi eso mesan so afasa akonye so na mama and sorry ahora ye wo Nagsda Central Zone yi so akwaba ye na ye nim ye wo Washington, First Nova, Woodbridge, Philadelphia, North Carolina, Ebenezer, New Life, British Columbia, and Calgary, Edmonton. Yeda onyamia se. Meniji pi baby biara obia ehwe me wa wabeka ho a wonso wo hwe me baby biara wo ewo US ana wiase afana nyina baby biara wo a wohem titiru Ghana se wo hwe me a yeni ajepa se yedwumadie yin so waba abeka ho amano ACP AC eta se ne munyina munim no na wotwi ye wo dwumadie sronko a ye de emam enu ane ye hyase ne nenso ye wo topics sronko a se de bia oya wade se ubeba around this time ubenya suahunu bi every topics ahora ya hyehye na se ne munim no ye key tester ye gina so ede ayedwumadie no ye hunu wo Jeremiah 33 verse 6 making kanchi miwia na makan ne brofo no o say hwe miara me de ade ani nro bechichire ni kroso na masawon yade na matue asudie no nokre a ebroso ama won ne brofo ne pa na working kan a eno de eye me edeye brofo no New International Version o say nevertheless I will bring health and healing to it. I will heal my people and will let them enjoy abundant peace and security. And I'm also saying, yada unyankopon ase. Na mesanso akai will say, Jumedia yedi, the media channels ahoro bebre so etri omonso ehwen. Ye wo Yonkudo Radio, Hope Channel, Ghana, Otebo Media, Hope for Life, CB Radio, and uko YouTube so bibi bia ye no. Eno so eba so ewo ehonom ansa na metwa so me paucho ba bibiara wo bia brewo komase ne kata wani na ye mo empire Eradi nyankopon yeda wase se na watwi watuasi ho ama health ministry department ese omunye program sronkui enfama wasafo Eradi yeda wase se wa mayensa akwanyen papa enanwumre ye jadwumadi aye be nyina hye wonsa yede customer for shawunsa yede wona ebetie so baby biara obia wo shawunsa Erade man konkon no ene kan na fadwumadi enumum na bibia enkoso boko yenya problem biara yeda wasisi watie yenim se bibia wiem dia yede na ase a eni kabia ma yeda wasisi watie wadumti amen sabre mesre technical team na omo amaye enyon
Nani frafos hunati Nam tiamu tami ra Yesu Sami krapira fuyari Nantemara obesheni mimu Naumamin kunimti Om kunim die moyo sumu Majin kwa janina Oshishemi na wapini Moja tishi tomapote Otomina mimino Meti mitoni na mano Otimishan kunim dimo Moja tishi no
Amen. Yedamo asepa sabre ebre edru se ye ne ye be yi ye kasama for no achre. Na edru ase ne mu nyina munim no yan kasa ye papa ye elder Dr. Che Jemfi Ole Foundation ne my oni ye sua bibi efa developing a healthy lifestyle. You know that minye free mu or say our health is our wealth. Na enen so ye kasama for no so ono so e ba betwa so se ne yedi kanka no na what you know health department for omo ewo program so kopi e de emamo na ne de nyankopon nam ne so a obekye no ono so oye family man to say the nura do che ne ono so ye family man sa you see behind every successful man is a woman. Yes, waware omo wo emema too omo san so ewo oba ebako na de obekasa no or doctorate degree from Loma Linda University. Cecilia Menoka say, or ye clinical director for Athletic and Therapeutic Institute, ATI, ewo Laurel, Maryland, ewo Yukrum Heya, USA. Wasanso, therapeutic pain specialist, onye free, EIM, and Purdue University. Wasanso, hodi vestibular rehabilitation specialist certification, and also Onya Efri American Institute of Balance. Osanso ewo nimdie ewo functional standards for optimal aging expert. Na the chance wo kra ne say ye central zone Nagsda on ye health ministries leader. Osanso eye personal ministry secretary ewo Washington Ghanaian SDA. Ene meni age ahobrasie mu ese me introduce to mu speaker no eye Dr. Benjamin Opoku Bediako. Nenejumedi ode be my watu ne din say becoming more physically active. Eti mesro be bibia obia wo no bre wo komase ne fa mpaye tanechi. E bra technical team e be my theme song no. Omo to theme song ni wi a de mo bete ne ka no enye obi biara say yankasa ye doctor wo ye Health Ministries leader, Dr. Benjamin Opoku Bediako.
But until then,
Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Baby, we're joining us a free piano. Once again, thank you so much, Mrs. Baden, for such a wonderful thing. Yeah, better when you go so as say and never boy home by now. 1 week to wellness. Jumadia ye dino and ne so ye twaso and ne ye twaso. 1 week to wellness, biblical perspective to health. Na enra nyame adom Dr. Chejan fi edi anim ele foundation ema ye kama enra o kire ye ma ye hu say how do we develop a healthy lifestyle. Na enra ade ba ko kan na me pick it from no say you need to start your day with God. If we want to have better healthy lifestyle, there's no better way to start than to dedicate our lives at the beginning of the day. We're going to start and end with God on every day. You can say those are some of the things that pick up in kakra. And yeah, and Dr. Jemfima who said we need to be very intentional. Say eba ya pomodin as a say then yes shada I can cast me be can say esi ma ye da ho and I say boapayo ye boapayo me say nkrofo ye boapayo they are the born but we dey eba ya pomodin we need to be esi ma ye da ho na ye boapayo say ye boapapa ma ye pomodin na den SCP na enra Dr. Jeffrey Mayesu said there are other what we call social determinants of health. New maybe a boama ya pomodin etimi den ACP. Na ene nyoma na obobo so enra no lay foundation kama maye no. Ene nyame aye yadom ye baba betwa so. Na ene ade na ye baba betwa so ye baba kan say developing physical. How do we so let me say Dr. Jeffrey one of the things said physical activity one of the social determinants of health and nyoma ema ya pom within CP esitano say ye physically active one of them na ye baba be zoom in na ye hu kwan ana say hia be hia say yetimi ye den physically active it baby I will join here free piano and no asem ne yeba besua becoming more physically active and no ade na yeba besua na ya bompa ye se ne di kan no this week ne ye kan ne say ye fire bible no na ye bie ye trustem na and me say ofa your memory text and say Mrs. Baden kama no Jeremiah 33 verse 6 no okana say be or say behold I will bring it health and cure and I will cure them and I will reveal unto them the abundance of peace and truth or say she na mede apomodin any ayaresa na ede ebremo na mesamo yare na mesremo eden asumdue ne aden no kore emusuo onyankopon pese ode asumdue ene no kore a abusu epese ode ba wofie na question say menu mienu ye bi say ho say sa apomodin healing cure na opese ode ba no are you ready for it? Are you ready to put up those things? Are you ready to implement those? This week, and only your memory text. Now, my this disclaimer. My first disclaimer, my person be said, "We be say, ye health program. Na adenti na ye dinya me sem eba. Nenra, we be say question come be say yes. Adam say education is one of the things that." Also is one of the determinants of our health. No be besides enti wo hu obi oye doctor nzo na na pomodin nkwa animu. Na nra yesua hu se nyankopon enimu a hey wetima ko school no kra ko do nyame ani it will not amount to anything. Enti E.G. White can say na yesu ye pese ye de share ya adwin enema ye nyina ehu ne ene say yes, God has not called us into medical missionary work just to make healthy sinners. Onyankopon fa ye ma say ye mra ma ye nya pomodin ne nya abone ye fo aye wa ahode. No. Nyankopon pese menewo ye a Christofo aye wa ahode. Na se there be ye gina baby ne ye catch say God is good. Ye nya ahode ntimi de atiama catch obi say God is good. Because me nyini say obetima catch obi say God is good. Ebra de bia wo yare. Untimi catch obi say God is good. Ebra de bia na wo si apene. You cannot continue to tell people God is good when you're constantly getting sick. When you have one issue or the other. But onyankopon enanadom no so ene ye din conscience so am so many principles by which we can live. Enti ene ye disclaimer na say this week in nyina no ye ka pomodin ho nsem but nenso you have a biblical twist to it. And only ye disclaimer. Enti we cannot assure you say anyone obetene ebeye just from health perspective in ground, but also you're going to get a biblical twist to it. And then your person would share why dream was up. Now, there were two expectations I say at the end of it in your person. Now, two expectations, and then I said, it is our expectation, say, at the end of this presentation, participants will be motivated to make at least 2 lifestyle changes and to present their bodies as a living and acceptable sacrifice to God. And say, at the end of this week, Nioma wa problem nioma bienu bi ese wutimi eden esesa. Enti yakeka koni nyina bisa ho se enioma bienu ben ena yetimi obetimi asesa. Yesu ade yi. Enioma bienu ben na obetimi asesa at the end of this week. Enti wotena ho ye dwen ho no dwen ho nkakrakra enra ye hu some of the coping things, some of the lifestyle changes I say yeah back and ye fiscal things bisa say emu de he and na wo ye den wo ye wadwen say by the end of the week opeso sesa na yet waso no me pese me kai be free E.G. White woman watu ne din counsels on diet and foods. Now I hope say me PowerPoint no me PowerPoint no because me pese mo follow edition na ye kono or say all our habits, taste and inclinations must be educated in harmony with the laws of life and health. By this means, we may secure the best physical conditions and have mental clearness to discern between evil and good. Now, I didn't question woman in your part, I catch and said, Emra, yeah, didn't say, ye pesi di onyankopon echi. As I say, yesu, your habits, your taste, your corner, any your inclination, nyoma ye di hono. Esesi yesua ho ehho ade se na be ya eni ya pomodin ne besisi animu ne animu osisi yetimi yesa eni ebeboa ne ebema ne se ebema ya pomodin ya physical health eni ya dream tie me se Dr. Sheikh can say mental health, and this week Rebecca was it's also part of it. Ebema ya the mental clarity and then no the bema ye hu ensunsun ya edam papa eni bonintem. And when our mental faculties are clouded with diseases and sickness, yentimi enwi enya the clarity yehiano. And until this week, ye dear see one ye pese ya pomodini ACP, send ye beya papa ne boni mun sunsans and sunsunia dem ye bet me. Na enam sa sunti na ye hu sa ade we ninti no. Enne ye be say who say what is the state of our health? And why you be? And then what we are doing is we The root cause versus changing, like chasing symptoms. And that's all by your healthcare. Most of the new my young baby, and I say symptoms near chasing. Obiba Nikoto Dea Nea Nehanuya Nea. Most times, new ma dear crona money, Nikoto Jane is in any way say, but and that's symptoms in the chasing. So by US Anuma statistical crime within 2015, over $3 billion has been spent. Oh, Chrome medical insurance a big deal. Now, or will be a friend said John Travis or can't say, but see, diseases and symptoms are the body, mind, spirit attempt to solve a problem. And Pepe no. Eye yare eba your sono eye bidie no kwan bia ene ya adwen ene ye spirit akwan bia opese ofaso anazi ye sunsun kwan bia opese ofaso no solve some of the problems ayewo clinically say pain american wasema Yebeka say pain is 100% produced by the brain in the body's response to a threat. And anytime your body ever go under a threat, you get pain, and the body try to find a way of solving it. Now, unfortunately, most of this body, mind, spirit attempt to solve a problem, just because of your lifestyle. Ya braba ye woman, and no na masa problems ye be briaba. And then heart diseases, cancer, diabetes. Anyway, saying it has come because of our lifestyle. Nene ye cut the physical part. Now, E.G. White a cambium or say. Now, or the F1 asema, the scientist called John Travis or the Fuaso. There's a good correlation between sometimes some of the things science says, any a dim concern or the now, cancers on diet and food or cancer will say the majority of diseases which the human family have been and still are suffering under, they are created by ignorance of their own organic laws. Or say me pen no yare any new may be a year suffer from no. John Travis say your body mind, body and spirit attempt of solving a problem. Now, E.G. White can say, San Yoma air bano, body, mind, spirit attempt of solving a problem. It is coming because many won't be in the brain and brain ya buya near go. Mra a boy a pomo de hoba. And Mranya coupon de aba, I a boy a pomo de hoba. A lot of us yatwatching. Now, and nam say yatwas and or see, they seem indifferent in regard to the matter of health. Yemu bibi ya fire won say emfa me ho. Ya pomo de no emfa ye ho. So we seem indifferent to the matter. See a couple more de ansema. Oh, we atia bread. And I know say a lot of us are on this platform. Oh, new man carry atia bread. But the question now, me person be so say, and new man what atia bread? How many of them have you implemented? And until this week, say by the end of the week, the person will make a decisive attempt, say at least 2 things. And Numa Bieno Obasisa. Or say they seem indifferent to the matter of health and work perseveringly to tear themselves to pieces. Or say, Yemubi Iron say Yemfaho, Nayavia, Nayati into pieces. Or see, when broken down and debilitated in body and mind, send for the doctor and drag themselves to death. Or see, yes, and fire hona, near say, near Didi, near Nom, near ye body nissa after the drew a be afena. Doctor for young woman, Dr. Mama Drew, near Numa Drona, so dear Kumia. And Yamina make a E.G. White in the Casa Assembly. Just because say you be I been said we are indifferent when it comes to our health and fire home. It is an Dr. Chekan, you be dear Bianesa. Ubeka say will be at the will. I tell you will be at the will. Men and abaku a will ye. Because I don't pay devotion. Upon a day, you call ye could born a prunality. the Bible mu. It will be a no. All death are not the same. I've had people at my home here, well-to-do, made thousands of dollars on mobile side, but they could not reach out. And so, but they are so sick. It's a woman to me pension and no kuomo. Will be a no. And this indifference is killing us. Now, we are now your body needs to see after the night drone. Ye mubi a drone I to say breakfast. Ye a good plate is what would dear out me. I didn't question myself all canon. Na yet was no. Entienne. There be so many things I can't was him. Wait, emra from and no monsa and smoke. Aduane efa the cholesterol ni we say no ese ba form o blood pressure so ba ese wonya good social network we ye kwanhweni na we ese ni podia. I know say that is not even a problem. Now, for me, no man can say minimize or effort in any of these. But the question I am basically say, which comes first? Say me no monsa. Say me reduce my cholesterol. Say me reduce my diabetes, hypertension. We say sometimes people, which comes first? I like to say the chicken and the egg situation. First. Which comes first? Which of them and amount make the biggest difference to your health? And then may sell it at the biatro. Now, yeka cholesterol show me. Which of them? For instance, how many cholesterol do I need in a day? But your baby here maybe I make me screenshot this. Yeah, what be a friend said basal metabolic rate. Now a estimate or a minimum estimate of the amount of calories your body needs. And what Dr. Che can say, I see a senior quite a so I can't script a what labels a word home. Or mama or calorie intake, you know. And to be someone say, oh yeah, bema. That's what screenshotted this formula. At least every day how much calories are we here? So we take physical expenditure out. And so how many calories are we here? Oh, your buy so how many calories? Maybe someone say at the end within in a day, and then you will consume in a day. No, are you doing more than you need? Because and not let this answer so I would do any be brain ever. Now, yeah, cause Mamin showed some study be a year. Omu follow 10,000 Harvard alumni. Harvard a university can say what US. Now Omu follow these 10,000 Harvard alumni for 12 years. Now this particular intervention I may come once me or say 23% Omu lower Omu risk of death than those who didn't get this treatment. Omo taking this treatment, omo demo omo me lower omo also by 23%, which is very significant. Now, we say a drone was exercise, basically walking, mostly walking. For those of us who are Ghanaians, they are new to us. In fact, in one of the studies I made research on, one DiCaprio, one Italian beer or yes scientist. One of the things Omu said, Omu take Italians, Omu say Italians know and there's so very nice evidence of that. Now, maybe some say, and Kagana for so the Enke Kananti and Kesunke Yadi. But now you move a bray, Yabakruma, we've been in the US, we're here, we just go like, hey, we're here to make money. Yes, you're here to make money, but not at the expense of your health. A lot of us are killing ourselves at the expense of health, and we have no time for our health to the point that we are making money, and I'm sorry to say this, we will not live enough to enjoy the sweat that we put in if we are not careful. We are breaking our backs, building mansions in Ghana and elsewhere, killing our families and going into so many things just to be able to live like the Johnsons at the expense of our health. And basically, Harvard alumni, 10,000 of them over 12 years, those who boldly did just walking, they were able to reduce their death by 23%. Now, this is what I see. This is the cycle you come. You're done. Near sorry, near office. And as you jumam, you call your juma, your befie, near betting TV on near San Baha, near Sababa Beda, a juma TV, da, a juma TV, sa near Didi in between. This is the cycle you move a breye. Na sa cycle way at the summer brain. Na Ora be a friend and said Professor Stephen Blair. Professor Stephen Blair, a public health expert on the Arnold School of Public Health, South Carolina. Now, omu study be a friend and say the aerobic center longitudinal study mostly is say cancer study now. And you say you shen nipa bi na you assume you follow over a period of years after omu subambi. Now omu fa nipa 50,000, a man member 50,000. And now we follow over some years. Now we follow over some years. They wanted to study what actually some of the things are a money paniwu. Now, this is what they came up with. Oma can say, what is the biggest attributable fraction? Now, attributable fraction, and you know, one person can say, and neoma risk factors a money pawu, diabetes, hypertension, smoking, drinking, high cholesterol, and all those neoma you can say a risk factors are a mawu nye bia. Net say ye ya to so ye be mama no. Those risk factors no. Omo bisa omo say ye one of those risk factors ni free man. E de emu de he pa nanka e contribute to your death to the point say ye no free mo a enke ke be ma ye wuo so ayeden ate. Ewu ye wu no ni we say no. What a shock no. Anyway say na yenya obituaries na yenya for young people no. Kwen ben so nanka risk factor ben pana enka ye free wa enke be ma ewu no swate. So that is the attributable fraction. Now this is what they did. In this area, risk factor ni be say obesity. Almost a year, yes, that is good. Smoking, good. Hypertension, ha. High cholesterol, ha. Diabetes, ha. But there's one be a wahano. No, maybe I say, and this are near my way in nano. A dear mo pa and a wee free one, and I think, yet me boy a homeward woman, and Quebec tea ye woso. Over 50,000 men and women over here in the aerobic center longitudinal study, no moon said cardiorespiratory fitness, and as your dear friend said, low fitness is the biggest contributor to death in our society. Low fitness. Yemu bebre semen kan say baby a woti bia no. Wo de opa, ye betimi pause 30 seconds. Yenye 30 seconds, no, within 30 seconds, no. Yenye how many sit to stand? Say what no sorry no. Within 30 seconds, how many of us are able to make 15 sit to stand in 30 seconds? I'll bet I can bet on it. Say about half of us on this platform, no, will not be able to make 15 sit to stand in 30 seconds. Clinically, that is one of the determinants of fitness. Basic ones. How many of us na yeti was see ano see ye time here home ye move your watch anyway yen time here home 15 ye pesi ye 15 sit to stand in 30 seconds. How many of us are once wakuma ne boy peri? The realize say low fitness is the biggest contributor to death. But the funny thing is say how is it? And for me go through the study, I wasn't surprised because most time when people have low fitness or more obesity cholesterol, so more low fitness or more hypertension no cholesterol, or more cholesterol level no cholesterol, or more diabetes no cholesterol. So you realize that low fitness becomes the basic denominator. Meaning say if people get their fitness level no go up, when some obesity the back of form, or more cholesterol the back of form, hypertension the back of form, diabetes in the back of form. Yet was And yes, like I said, the low fitness is the stronger predictor of death. Into me person me bisa won say, emra wo hai, o fitness level send it here. And then you were a draw for diabetes, you were draw for the hypertension, you were draw for anything. But we rarely see fitness thrown into the mix. Na ye ba ye mo Ghana for put dia na eye kra areho. Most of us as Ghanaians, ye neighborhood cry, ye nante cry who neighborhood baby cry. We go through that loop cycle, no? Ye didi, ye kwa juma, ye buy better TV so and go through the near bar sorry near corner. Nothing else. We hardly throw anything fitness into our mix. Now, in one of the studies, we say, so be or you obese. Now on sign your exercise, would you highway to the grave? Now, obia, even or you obese, not even onanti, and that's why I can no onanti impono. They realize the negative consequences of obesity. So why I can say the negative consequences ne woman. Just by being able to kind of like walk or exercise, or like even do walking, you are able to ameliorate, like ultimately, the negative consequences of obesity. So, and to be baby say, if this is what is happening, Ubika said, like any medication, what is the dosage? What is the dosage? How much? How often? How intense? Be sure that when it comes to exercise, what take 30 minutes. Over and over again. 30 minutes. And with 30 minutes being active, you can realize all the benefits that you can come with. Now, so if you cross, we need 30 minutes. In a recent study, they put in what they called digestive work. Nene, so one TB crime free me one. Now they know person shots and now don't see me. I want to sell to you a draw a friend a digestive work. Now, digestive work is something you do for just about 10 to 15 minutes. Me person me tons I draw in the mouth. To say Ghana ki to a draw a trotro mene kejetiane a krala pass muno. Me person me tons I draw in the mouth. 10 to 15 minutes, we call it digestive work. Now, in a study by Andrew Reynolds, our year postdoctoral research fellow at University of Otago in New Zealand, said short post-meal walks, a friend said, digestive work was effective at lowering blood sugar after dinner than a single 45-minute walk taken at mid-morning and late in the afternoon. Young pattern said, so what did we especially like ready? So what's me taking a break 10 to 15 minutes walker or more issues about diabetes? I mean say, Enra, Dr. J can the negative consequences, and if I want to quote him there, I'll say diabetes here you're bonny. And for those of us in the clinic, and we've seen the negative effects of it. And for those of us who go into pain, if we have time near the negative effect on some of these sugar levels, on people's pain threshold, it will surprise you, the science behind it. Now, when we say people who do just about 10 to 15 minutes after meals, especially, who they say, to me and neck, a drone me person me Tom say, after at least who they are and you read who did here 10 to 15 minutes, we call it digestive work. It is a new rule in the house, digestive work, 10 minutes after each meal. If you cannot do it after each meal, at least you dinner there after each dinner, 10 to 15 minutes work, a mandatory will feel. Sadro and Ampesa Tomau. Say they saw the biggest differences with walking after dinner. Digestive work. Now, Obibe Bisa say, I didn't any yeka digestive work on one asset. Nessa who say, your body nana say the human digestive system, anytime be a ubedino. Your body no work on. Your body need nim ampesie, and nim tacos, and nim fufu. Near Nimane say Adriana would be a carbohydrate, a protein, a minerals, vitamins. Near Nimano. Now, most of your dinner, those carbohydrates, anyways, even some of the even the proteins, the body converted those into a sugar called glucose. Now, glucose is the primary source of energy for your nipediano. Into me, make us anyway say, may burn glucose to help me to be able to do those things. And after say we did who did we are, may sure or Sena Yamia Duma Dr. Freda Beckham was into details. After say who did we are, said Diana adagest here we convert into that glucose sugar now. Sa sugar stay our bloodstream. Umojanum no it stay na yewo ade a home be a friend say insulin. Sa insulin and a boa na twe sa sugar no ekọ into cells no na o cells no use immediately and as a store for later. And no na say binom de no already na say honum na ye ma. I to say we call grocery shopping. Na me fa say on the counter na nyoma omo wo no ye ntonwie enti track na delivery track na ye dey ba no. Shelf no so ayema enti ontimi deliver. Ye mu bebre diabetes, that's what happened. When the blood sugar na blood may say according to cells no already the cells are saturated already. Entimi insulin no either say the insulin is not working very well and now say the cells are saturated say entimi sugars in free mojanum and cause cells into na ka mojanum and then the diabetes neba na and no and all this problem, heart disease, stroke, kidney disease, and some of these heart problems neba excess we say na enqua we say na excess glucose na form other plaques the fat na lay on umoja drobena your friend said the lumen of the bloodstream based the blood vessels na lay ho na all these problems are here kan ho asema na ye move forward and to be say and how does that working or for instance digestive working how does it help when you first one say your muscles na ye won and I say ye nam ya ye way e use glucose and say use a draw the sugar out of the circulation and so it reduces amount of sugar floating around in the blood anyway. And another thing too, and say exercise stimulates a different peristalsis, which is the process by which digestive food move through the GI tract. So wo befa say wo GI na say wo yam na aduane ne famu na sa exercise no eboa ma sa tract no etimi eden move aduane ne etimi move. In this one, anytime you exercise, we say, Sebio, and Rayaka, Oko Jao Nakra, it's me, man, no man, a bantem. And my Biana, when you could say, Biana and show so. Because just that exercise in a Buama, San, your money to me a day, a cost on them. And then, ulcerative colitis, any those cancers, we say, those adults, just because most people are sitting down to the point whereby. And I'm so much more digestion and cause ye and aduane taumuyam na creating more problems. And nothing and made some digestive work amount. A yadro tatache proven and tested scientifically. Now, mamima another example. In another study on what they call the nurses health study. Omu say a man nurses or move or activity or mutimi 1 hour a week, 1 hour every week, 1 hour. Or mutimi a year exercise, One of the things mutimi and said they were able to reduce heart diseases by almost half. And the one who said, and yet ordinary people nurses need other people so yare, doctors yare. Because sometimes we, the health professionals, we think that we are immune to it, but we are not. And in the nurses' health study, they realized that keep at least 1 hour. And it was 7 days in a week. You have 6 days. 1 hour. What you say? Who said it is easy for you to make that 1 hour? They were able to reduce their heart diseases by half. So the question maybe shall say, what is your excuse? Another example, in 1990 in Japan, the Japanese government who said, a lot of these heart diseases anyway. So they talked to some of the companies, and one company, what they decided to do, and say, workers, car. Now what they did was say, I can't now this is what they realized. Less than 10 minutes, they had no effect. But between 11 to 20 minutes of walk to work, they were able to reduce hypertension by 12%. Over 21 minutes, reduce hypertension by 29%. And you want to say, so we shall see now we are digestive walk in 10 minutes. Wait a bit, baby, one casa, but now with the big cry day, to get to at least 30 minutes each day. Digestive work, a drought attack, and a name to amount. Another example. In another study, by one, when it comes to heart surgery, I said Demon's one of the top notch. In one doctor, be a friend, and said Rainer Hambert. Dear friend, said stent. Now stent in the end said umoja drobeno. And I said they had blood vessels now called the heart and microphone. Yes, when your heart failure, no, your heart na a muscle. Now muscle na no one na pumping moja ban no one so here diane. Now blood vessels na ekono. E binu wo ha. And now say fat deposit omunye active nem burn calories no body no after the nye baby install we say e shall store fat no on the lumen of the blood vessels no and I say moja drobe no we say na ayina kwakwadi dem na yesa na esi moja drobe ni ti drobe no say na ne kase te say ya we say na so ti na ye ketoa enti na da bia ne drobe bia ne blood pressure no e say e kosoro na itimi pushi moja ne through it. Now, what this man did, and said, some complicated surgeries. A friend says stent. No, they are shame. Let's say a baby moja drumming so that you bit me ama moja na then akum. Now, with that complicated surgery, now it costs so much money. No, decided to be a study. Now, the study, what they did, and they said they made people sit on a bike, stationary bike, and this is what they realized. Say the success rate of the stent procedure no 70% success rate. Bike and so no year we say no they were able to reduce their heart conditioning problem by 88%. Cheap, more global and more systemic benefits. You move a bresi ampe. You pay the complicated one and yet me aba so dem aba be dia dance here nka mewu. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think say Nyankopon pesi you get to a point whereby we don't have to get to that point. Yes, things happen by no fault ours. We live in a sinful world. But Nyankopon pesi enyema ye betimi ayabo ye ho ban enne o pese o tre ne hu se o de owo ne nkwa si yanim. There na wo choose. Enne because of technology it is promoting the stagnation. In my clinic, sometimes I catch a patient and say, yes, you are first shift stick. We don't say so a 9.5 crotch. Now what Daniel won't show with cheap. By the time I won't drive on quite by no non for before them run. O 9 year Juma will come year Juma, who saw that year Juma, who year Juma. And then because of technology, Otanaka and Wotfaki and they won't chimney beam into a hand movement no crazy. I wouldn't be. Udon says Piasso, Tenyan so. And then also ya back offer camera and so most of us we have become like robots. Yet we hardly move in any part of our ranges that God has created for us. But the funny thing is that in our brain, yet is that part to be a friend said the homunculus. That part, it is genetically coded and structurally developed by our activity. Near pattern said the more we use the more enhance it. Those parts of our bodies and I'm saying it is dulling out. Anything that the principle of use it and lose it, but we are losing most of our functions just because of technology. And it's even not now. And now Dr. Chima example was it, and then my phone and papa for you been my manayas wedding. And Susan and chain say, so or no bev park of fano, no afraid yaman bra. Yaman no be free suraba or fancy is your mammy. Abding. By him say, ensure a jina baby for a say a bone a water that is stagnant is full of disease, and likewise. Humans that are stagnant are full of diseases. And they say, ensure tie baby. Yatsana Gana de ensure tie baby. I am picture hormone. I had there first and I would dare war in chancing bathroom. No, since you know, Connie and Quanqua system through a yard in a tutor. And it's also nipe biana or won't move no. You become stagnant. And you become full of diseases. That is what happens to you. And yemu bebre yemu na yekuto dena debia yensana debia yabasana is because when was the last time me work out a move on sana? When was the last time you wake up your knee? When was the last time you wake up your trunk? None of them. So sometimes me patient me cancer me say wako car not on brand new. And likewise, I use that as an example. Yensu onyankopon ma wo tie rubber body. It was fresh from the room. No blemish. But this is what most of us we do. Every car comes with a manual. And so the gas go at 10,000 a year. And so service, first service A. At 20,000, we are service B. And so we changing oil. And so me say it's a platform. So if there was service in time, do not when your car the service out. What happens to the car? But you see, human invention a car there. I don't think say any of us be a brand new car. Na baby a car trend say on for gas in gumuno, on for petrol and as a diesel no, or the super go. Because he himself, we spend thousands of dollars to buy that. But nyankopon we dia or dear mouth fresh from the room, tear rubber no, or catcher was send munsia was a soda na menum, or catcher send munsia was a and sana menum, sebionya mini dear enim nyansa, una unim nyansa, and sometimes we ask ourselves by design, somebody has meticulously made an invention and he's telling you how to keep it, and you say, no, I know better. And what Dr. Chima example said, when God created Adam and Eve in the garden, but God asked them to move and tender it. We don't want to move. We don't want to do anything. Into that group, or say, oh, na mi ko move idea na me chiche. Psalm 1 verse 3. Movement purifies. Or say, he will be like a tree firmly planted by the stream of water, which yields its fruit in its season, and its leaf does not wither, and in whatever he does, he prospers. Who be someone would say, I didn't know on to follow or de onipa etoto. A dear was stream of water. It flows, it purifies, and it provides nourishment for the tree. Anytime we move, anytime we exercise, anytime it provides nourishment for our bodies. This example. In a study, be a big study. Say, Obia nipa omohwe TV for 6 hours per day, they live 5 years less. No be beside ho say, na me metuwe, how many me TV for 5 hours? Where, let me give you this shock. Within this US, this statistics, the average person in the US every TV 5 hours a day. The average person in the US. Hippocrates or say walking is man's best medicine. Hippocrates says that he's the father of medicine. Or say walking is man's best medicine. Cheap. Also won't we don't want to work. We will work for our money, but we will never work for our health. We will break our back to go make money. But sometimes if he say your body in a car now what they drive a no. And it's a servicing so now say one year servicing. So 1 year servicing of the car now. Now we excuse and they say, oh, me need time. I don't have time. I don't have time. And I'm the car for servicing. Me say 1 year time, but that crow car now don't come out me could make it the money. That crow be break it down. At that time, we be your time. And you at that time, you will know the value of servicing. And that is what is like our body. Our body now, you can say work out, me need time. Did ye me need time? No, monsieur, me need time. And you know the social determinants and Dr. Cheka and you don't have time for any of your health. I bet you one of these days, say what Jaria and now will say, yes, you have time for your health. Because that is the vehicle that is making the money now. That is the vehicle that is taking you to and fro. That is the vehicle that is making you happy. If you don't take care of it, one of these days you have time for it. Don't kill yourself making money at the expense of your health. Or say, when the religion of Christ is most held in contempt, when his law is most despised, then should our zeal be the warmest and our courage and firmness be the most and unflinching. And God is calling you. Say, take the body now or the amount. Take it seriously. My example here. In the recent study, also physical activity, inactivity is associated with narrowing lumbar intervertebral disc, high fat content of paraspinal muscles, and low back pain and disability. And then, since you are rare, over yes, oh, may your bulging discs or my spine, and it was or see a lot of them. And this is a study 2015 in Arthritis Journal. A lot of them is coming because of inactivity. And then Saturday we'll discuss some of these things in a whole panel discussion on some of this. You're better discussing into details on Saturday in the afternoon. Now, and then X-ray, MRI, CT scan, and all of this. All this imaging, you have sequestration, you have extrusion, you have all this inactivity is one of the reasons why you move a brain get discs no lose fluid na air body na air crash no, because we are not moving, we are not exercising to hydrate the disc and keep its length. And Onyame Kwan said you have to be more active. Now say you might be busy with school, work, kids, or you may be in pain or have other priorities. But my question to you is, can you limit your sitting and sleeping and all the things you do in a day to just 23.5 hours or 24 hours? Can you limit all of them to just 23.5? Just to be able to maintain that very body now, would they enjoy the 23 hours? Can you do that? Because Me pese me ka asem bi. Na me de manusi. E.G. White ka asem bi in Counsels on Diet and Food or say only one lease of life is granted us. Or say enkwa ba akupe na onyankopon de amaye. Or say and the inquiry with everyone should be, how can I invest power so that they may yield the greatest profit? Ekwan be so na betima ya ade a betima ma me profit kese. How can I do most for the glory of God and the benefit of my fellow men? For life is only valuable as it is used for the attainments of these ends. Now, of course, what the Kasem said, or say health is a treasure. Of all the temporary possessions, it is the most precious. Me repeat, or say health is a treasure. Of all the temporary possessions, it is the most precious. Or say ba ya pomodia, and nyoma ye wo wiasima nyina na ye possessions aye wo no. Hey, betima ye okunu, e betima ye oma, e betima. I tell you, all those things are important. E betima ye ofie na wusi wo Ghana no, e betima ye oka na wo dem no. All these things are important, but they are temporary. But of all the temporary nyoma ye wo no, health is the biggest treasure. The reason is that se wunni won kwa, wunni health. Hey, car no, ubeto esi garage untimi ntwida. Efie no besi untimi enjoy fie no because ye do bakoto manchwe bi. Sika no benya, but obi ne beko akoko yi sika no, if you pass okọ bank crap, obi ne bedo beko. Of all the temporary possessions we have in this world, health is the greatest treasure. Onyame nhyrae, onyame nnomye. Ne ye make the adwin say, at least in our homes, we will serve the Lord, but we will serve also and do digestive works after at least dinner, 10 to 15 minutes. Onyame nkan ho no nhyrae wonadom pimunti. Amen.
Amen. Dr. Benjamin Opoku Bediako yada sepa eradi oishraw. Enra misien bibi who say, or say our health is our wealth, and then so many bibi, or say health is a treasure. Eradi oishraw pa. Ye brene ko, but ye omreka krebi so be wo question ana emwebia opese or de eba ye pamuchon e kwan da ho. Ye wo be 11 minutes bi. Ye be fa bia ebu be 9 minutes ede a fa question ene emwebiara opese or de eba. Ansana ya pon jumedi no. Mepa mo cho so pese obisa question bia ene de wakasa afa ho no eno na mesro obisa afa ho. Why? Mepa cho mi hu John Donko. Mepa cho brem.
Okay. Me that's it. Doc, nyame insta papa. Send ye kano and net sa digestive work on me maintain that.
Okay.
Na down why teach mo pa. Na me pese me hu se wudi di wi a. We ben accident temu sana why sa work ya kan ho asemo.
Okay. Mostly no. Enka emre de and said that here emre. But one of the research initials said most times glucose levels sometimes will be a diabetic. Most time the glucose actually comes and I say digestion happen after 72, I think sir, after a little bit of about 2 hours. Okay, 72 minutes, I should put it that way. 72 minutes, but it's not blood sugar in iodine, abba, into it. And most time by the time I will yes, and not absorption, but even irrespective of that, so we walking a crab before that 72 minutes now, it creates what we call the tissue depth. And my comedy tissues, and by the time I sugar and membrane, cells are already in need of it until by an iodine. I check up and stay in the bloodstream. So yes, you wait to my tank a crab just about 10-15 minutes be. But even obi wa say because aduane obi say na be gyina nebo. So you can relax for a little bit. But at least, you know, and because the danger say oh me try kakra be na be na so no order. So no that something my professor about that a gastric optic reflux now be na so be order. And you know, mostly I tell you say at least we train about 10-15 minutes you can go for your digestive work.
Patrol me who Mr. and Mrs. Edu Philadelphia and South so move to me and be some question. Oh yeah, you befa any part to Freddie Amon and Ananama. And obi so be said be ewa hana ye de ababy if you say you perceive them reno a year.
Me patrol me da sipe. Doc nyame ensha ofi wo asemo a wo de amaye ni nyame na mo so de amaye. Na mpese mbusa se esi dan na obi in the midst of exercise ultimate free musa obi wo ha na oye exercise ana o twa hwe no wuye e ba ne say na etimi e ba ne say na
okay ne man ba ne say sometimes obi wo ho a or underlying problems that have not been diagnosed. It is sometimes in say be obi wo ho a say obi wo hypertension ye make recommendations that person no on jockey. So be jockey cramp na. One of the a year me skip here say you need what we call graded exposure. Graded exposure and then say we start it gradually and build your tolerance in your tissues nutrients. And in some of these comorbidities and I say some of these things near will be me traveling or those blood pressure because once I want until pressure na cause kakra. Into or elevated blood pressure that and or they call joggy and I say a spike here and a man come on a failure. It is sometimes so some of this underlying again and nothing sometimes you make it say annual physicals and some of these things you know and also we take blood pressure to say and run Dr. Shekana and some of these things are where they work. A lot of times most of the people don't even know some more. Internet it comes as a surprise to them. And sometimes, you know, if you have your annual physicals, you'll be able to pick some of these things. But these are the reason why it might be known to me. And you know, so if you're not so any concerns, talk to your primary care physician. They can get the baseline measurements, you know, and then you can move on from there.
With the doctor, Patrol, the one say, Obidiaba say, is jogging better than brisk walking, and then you're similar in America and signing for the next.
Basically, and yet one of them is not like you have benefit over the other. It depends on the person and what you want to do. Me personally, I jog. I do sometimes on weekend, I do like about 8 miles in 1.5 hours. It's because I say when I started, you know, me building my tolerance to the point after the me after the 90 and I don't yet me feel it. Your dear friend said VO2 max. And no, as you go on, we say it is the amount of oxygen available to you at a certain threshold. And no, according to the technical part of the kakra. But what happened? And they say, well, as you get exercise, no one say, body no expand the amount more after the way 10 minutes in asset and so. But say not wow, no, we say increasing kakra. And one so shall say I want to be doing we say walking not turning into what jogging. Because now you've developed the tolerance. Because we say one antenna crowd won't say why you baby. This is way more. And you know, one of them, no, in terms of jogging, anyway, say you know, mostly you can say nipa and working within what do you call say their target heart rate. We'll get to that point. But before the target heart rate in those and only a more advanced level, no, at least start with what do you and you know, whether I say jogging and I say way any better than the other, no, it depends on who is working on it. But say one shall see just start with the digestive work. We can start from there and we can build up.
The part of Freddie Amo obey to me a question about.
Pacho, what you mean? Pacho, me da wasipa doctor. Me nrana me shasi follow at the anomenia jehompa. Yami Islam. Na the way I'm blending English no ne ye kasano. I'm so impressed. Now me question is say adi we na mo ye no recordings no wo. This will be here say some message ya odi na ebia me present kaminya nina kwan ben so na me fa me nsa beka because nyema mu ye hu say e wo ya wie no hu so tutra nyema be me nsa bi many boss na ka me ni je ho pa but one kan ho asem this will be per some information no nyina kwan ben so na obefa obinya.
Okay, open I'm say your media are for the air wire to work on getting all those available. And more also, so call your media the media supporters and it is our Taibo Yonkodo radio era one way saying or my recording on YouTube. Yes, we are creating a YouTuber here. You say media for the wire to get all those things into be making it available. And me say actually so here whatever support be out here no we also get you all those ones. Like that part I'm skipping and Yami Adma Sabbath, you become massive. Sabbath afternoon. We have a whole lot of time around that time.
Me do was in Yami Ishram.
Amen.
If Pacho Nanama, over to me, Ebisa question.
If Pacho, okay. Yeah, my question is, Dr. Edas, Yami Ishram Opani, Dumedia, Mode Boye. Now, my question is, exercise na more can. Ubu on or taking an exercise anopa. And son or quite juma, ubu swa, or be oyen and numre. And to say, see, no, nam say, be any panny juma the whole day into at least just like a year full time and until or yen exercise no anopa.
Yeah.
And this is way.
There's no problem with it. Ultimately, there are days me call jog in the morning. So days I'm working late in the morning, no, like probably I'm starting to work at 10. No, me done tema, and that is why sleeping on. Me done tema e boa me man permit me sorry at least by 6 I'm able to do my run in the morning, no, at least for an hour and still be able to prepare breakfast and then before I go to work. And then the point and then say and upon anyway say it depends on work schedule any day wait it here. And you know most times even on a panel sometimes most people are very energetic. I remember I went to me on for the sake of time anyway say now I say yeah you no we no abre obi wa gina to abo adwuma ya abodo wa abre. Just do your digestive work. At least that will help. But your YouTube link, let me say, Dr. Hannah Abo Modern, they are 200 mama on the chat, you know, to wait marry. But Anopa say is still fine. The other nitty-gritties of it, we'll discuss that later.
That's you, that's it.
I'm sure you're bringing tea. Young Simi Phobia, but Mary don't consult so Moses Solomon Swaba, or me no Ekas. Dr. Pacho say, okay.
I no, yes, we can take
you. Obumia and one on Itipacho, Mary don't call. Wait to me, I'm a question or Akoso.
Yo, some that's it. Dr. made that, yeah, that's a part because I really love your presentation. Then be a meta, it's your presentation. Now, question is exercise. I like exercise. Actually, I don't have any underlying condition, but I like exercise. I mean, person be quite one thing. Me Zumba walk on YouTube TV. Me in my living room.
Yeah.
In person, have one thing, and now we in the field. I still like okay now. And I'm not so. Yeah. And I do better so because maybe you feel a little hungry. Maybe I want a little smoothies. Be animal. So like I was tired digestive work. No, maybe I the class. I would think about with me. And until we living room for about 10 to 15 minutes that work on
me that's a pa. Yeah, walk room here winter bad to say we is the idea. Snow no to me call. But the ones that make us make a baby to say will be what 15 sit to stand in 30 seconds. So what try will be the effect of it. Maybe later on the statistics paper. Ideally. So be the age of about 50 and going, that's all your bar. They need to be able to make 96 steps in 2 minutes. So general say no market timer. 96 steps in 2 minutes. What do you try? We want how it affects your heart rate. And sometimes I tell people say you don't necessarily have to go out. Say whether anyway say now yes, you can still get the same effect, you know. Whilst even in your living room, you will be able to feel see anywhere. You walk quite a bit more around. I climb the stairs and I'm up and down. I climb up. You bit me using it. You don't necessarily have to go out. Internet say if staying indoors no bit me like the Zumba now kind of You can just do, I've seen people who do Zumba and get things even working that way.
Departure Solomon.
Yo, Doc, thank you very much. Such a fantastic presentation. But my question is exercise no. Me adwuma wo Walmart. Na me kwa nante nwa. Me pege nyoma ekosoro na makoto na akwa. I don't know. So my time because of say adwuma na my busy e wo so wana e wo ho no. Does it really make any difference than doing exercise? I think that is also an exercise, right? So,
all right.
And yet that if that is not the point, what is the difference between a nante ni peja and can you feel me peja and no makosoro na me peja before the same peja na me Walmart no? Does it have any difference?
Okay, I think that when Mami Abigail put a question on the chat, and I think that the two of them are the same. One of the things Medica can say, Mr. Solomon, and I will make it very nice submission be on the chat, man. But work is not workout. But work is not workout. The point in this there's a mind, body, spirit connection whenever you have to do an exercise or workout. Maybe time the physiological implications and how these things work out. But the stresses at work, is not the same stresses you do when you actually have to work out. Most times, the workout in our way is a maintenance thing. Where a use. But what I say? The difference, one of the basic difference, and then say, yes, it keep you physically active anyway, but bear in mind they say you are utilizing it. Who utilize it? Yes, build it up. And my remember another example, say me fan say like lifting your man. Who say at some point you realize that back muscles anyway, sometimes, and then that's another detail problem, and I can say me the back. And he said, lifting we say anyway, and meaning say use back muscles, you're losing your quads depending on your lifting mechanics that we use. The point, and then he said, how many times have you been able to build the lower back muscles for the lifting that way? So what say Uncrofonia work injury, the workers' company we say, wouldn't say initially your boy mama pain in a bath from nowhere. We go what we call work hardening. Work hardening, you take you through the same work scenario and build them up so that they can function very well using that same. But you realize and only yet a juma, but and only a treatment. So there's a whole physiological component that goes into it. And for instance, like you say, left, you need to build that back muscles. And muscles are already ready. They've been, I'm gonna go to there and say simulation. And sometimes in years, would you know only way say but you need to dedicate time for the maintenance work, Send a bell so for 10 hours. Muscles are ready enough to stand for 10 hours. But in the work environment, who you see here, you didn't build it up. Meaning, answer question now. Okay. All right.
Yo, any doctor, yadasipa, eradi oisha. O topic he air the pa and so a bread and yade a year juma. Ready, mefa kwenye akache na say. You don't want to miss the rest of the days. It's say health department for our programs. Ahuru P. Debia one day or China so pesa wutia. You're starting of 7:45 near baby around 9 or chance so your topic. Come on, yatuni or say diet and achieving or maintaining a healthy weight. Send a build a foundation, yet was so quiet, and also your doctor be and a debe my so who Dr. Crab me pese or China ube balance so ube huno. And not see Adama say and then you may move become who you made an ayed de ye benyan kayam pon and so a bread any day juma. And not see Adamun say Major Hanum ama doctor now what was Yadamasi.
Okay. I did for Mumai and I see a trust in the Empire. Our Lord and Master Jesus, we thank you very much for today. We give you praise, we adore you. We bless your holy name for this wonderful opportunity to learn. And maybe I be ban old boy me sua nioma. Now what you are boy me sua nioma who do be brave. And maybe no, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. And I been see a person to an more a bit mamma and pum and the aquanimu. Yet me the mental clarity to discern between what is good and evil. No, obon some no one pay ye. A cow nonco can there be an anchor ye yare. And can call nonco there be an anchor ye see a penny, we are constantly in pain. Ready? So bonsana for can be super so say. What some extra say, if the devil come to us one way, you will cause him to flee from us in 7 different ways. May that promise come into our life in Jesus' name. Yes, as Sarah will say, rather. Ye free when him, ye free when him. What do no home run and kind. So be we more yare, no in pain, and I say we are. Father, please, may you use the balm of Gilead to touch that person. And may at the end of this week, may we encounter you, may we be blessed, and may your spirit lead us to make decisive steps that will help us to have health and have it in abundance. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
My heart can sing when I pause to remember a heartache here is but a stepping stone along a trail that's winding always upward. This troubled world is not my final home. But until then, my heart will go on singing. Until then,
Recording stopped.
joy I'll carry on. Until the day my eyes behold the city. Until the day thou calls me home. But until then, my heart will go sing. My heart will go sing. Until then, with joy I'll carry on. Until the day my eyes behold the city. Until the day God calls me home. The things of earth will dim and lose their value if they recall the borrowed for and things of earth that cause the heart to drown. Remember that will only bring a smile. But until then, heart will go on singing, will go on thinking. Until then, the joy will carry on. Until the day my eyes behold the city. Until the day God calls me home. But until then, my heart will go singing. Until then, with joy I'll carry on. Until the day my eyes behold the city. Until the day God calls me home. so bohini, and it so bohini, and it so inani Yesu. So konomu yede sedanara. Fa Yesu Kristo ye when it so bohini, and it so bohini, and it so inani Yesu. So konomu yede sedanara. Fa Yesu Kristo ye when it so. Obema unia wakuma shishe. Ujina wachiti se domberima. Ujina unifati se oja fredo. Fa Yesu Kristo ye when it so. Obema unia wakuma shishe. Ujina wachiti se domberima. Ujina unifati se oja fredo. Fa Yesu Kristo ye when it so. Me come for a radiama. Fa Yesu Kristo ye when it so. Me come for a radiama. Fa Yesu Kristo ye when it so. Sorry, but say, Missy Envy, when need us only way. Sorry, I won't find no pound and I do so. Ube will be a sea war, Tina, sorry, and I'm in no good and I don't see your soft for no say. Men need us so, they must see coffee, Benson. I see a down man, no, did mammy. Framimpo, Masiana Toma, Fuan into a nipasu, obey you, Shamo, what she said, yes, she said, yes. One need us one in Busuma, wouldn't need us one. Trona can say. So young,
One need us, one need what you want, and that's what I do. Man, to be good, yet to me, ready. Yes, 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 oh, dear. One need us, one who could now wound, and that's what we are. Very much, yes, we are. Dear, dear, theatre, yes, 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 oh, dear. What you know what it say, don't bury what you know what it to say, oh, the friend. For Jesus Christ, yeah, when he does so. What you know what it say, don't bury what you know what it to say, oh, the friend. For Jesus Christ, yeah, when he does so. And until they come for a radium, come for Jesus Christ, yeah, when he does so. And until they come for a radium, come for Jesus, yeah, when he does so. They come for a radium, for Jesus Christ, yeah, when he does so. Asida